Well, hello, hello, hello. Much love to you all. May God bless you all. Smash that like button, share this out. So, in the book of John, there's a huge discrepancy that there's a lot of arguments between theologians about did Jesus come to bring judgment or not? So, we're going to read from chapter 9, verse 39. It says, "And Jesus said, For judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and that they which see might be made blind." I'm going to go to, of course, the Greek word before we go any further here. We're going to go to judgment here, and I'm going to now take us over to the dictionary for judgment. First, let me go to the Strongs. We see that it is a decision, the function, or the effect for or against crime, avenge, condemn, condemnation, damnation, plus go to law, judgment. So let's go to the Thayers here. A decree, judgments, judgment, condemnation of wrong, the decision, whether severe or mild, which one passes on the faults of others, in a forensic sense, like forensic science, when they solve a mystery of a murder. The sentence of a judge, the punishment with which one is sentenced. So you pretty much see here where we're getting at with this stuff. So let me go back. So, for judgment I have come into this world, so that the blind will see, and those who see will become blind. It's pretty much what Messiah was saying here. So, this should alert the reader of the book of John right here. Well, we notice this statement here. And what Jesus also said, this is where we get to the arguments. Let's go to John 3:17. For God sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Okay, so later in this gospel, Jesus clearly echoes this statement of John 3:17 in chapter 12. Let's go to chapter 12, verse 47, where it reads, "And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not, for I came not to judge the world, but to save the world." Okay. Did Jesus come to the world to judge it, or did he not come to judge it? So we're stuck here with a parallel of three verses that cause lots of arguments here. But how can both be true? Okay, at first glance, this seems impossible. But as we will look closer upon inspection here, we need to have an accurate understanding to rightly understand this. In one sense, Jesus did not come to judge. The primary purpose of his first coming was to die on the cross for people's salvation from sin. Hence, John speaks about Jesus came not to judge, but to save in John 3:17. Anyone who rejects Jesus' offer of salvation is not so much judged by him as he brings judgment upon himself, as we see in verse 47. You bring judgment upon yourself. So, let's now go back to the book of John, chapter 3, verse 36, where we see another really in particular verse that backs up what we're saying. He, in verse 36 in chapter 3, he that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abideth on him. You don't want the wrath of God abiding on you. So, in a sense here, Jesus' coming did indeed introduce an element of judgment. The sense in which judgment here is understood is that of the division between light and darkness and truth and non truth, a false statement. So Jesus is that true light. We know that from the book of John, chapter 1, verse 9, where it reads, "That was the true light which lighteth every man that cometh into the world." Okay, we also know when we go to chapter 8, verse 12, "Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life." There's so much discrepancy with how people tear apart the Bible. Look, it says, "As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world," in John 9:5. So, We're going to go back to chapter 3 here because I do have another Greek word I want us to look at. I want us to read right here in verse 19. And this is the condemnation, that the light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. Okay, so now we are going to go to the word condemnation. Condemnation. And we see that it is a damnation, a judgment, an accusation. We see that it is a separation, a trial, contest, judgment. I hope you're getting the picture here, especially concerning justice and injustice, right or wrong, sentence of condemnation, damnatory judgment, condemnation, and punishment. Pretty in particular with what the word says here, my friends. So, in that sense, it was inevitable that the light coming into the world would expose human sinfulness for what it is. The light did expose it. It's just like a light being flicked on and cockroaches scatter in, to get back into the dark. The light of the world was shining so bright that the sinful heart was going to be exposed. Look, moths are drawn to light. And that's how we as Christians should be. We should be attracted to Jesus, the light. We should be attracted to that light like a moth is. Moths will fly into a light. Anytime you flip one on, they'll come to it. And it's a complete opposite of a cockroach. As soon as a light is flicked on, they run from it. Now, I know it's hard explaining with bugs here. I know some people have a hard time with that. But in a sense, when we're looking at this, it is very true when you think about these two different bugs and relate it to light and darkness. Yet the closer people came to that light, the more exposed their evil hearts were. The closer we come to Christ, the more we are exposed of how wretched we are and how much we need Jesus. So, this was a challenge for people to put their trust in the light while they had it, so they would become children of light. Let's go to chapter 12. Chapter 12, verse 35 through 36, where it reads, Then Jesus said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. These things spake Jesus, and departed, and did hide himself from them. So, while judgment was not the primary purpose of Jesus coming into the world, that was salvation, it was inevitable that his coming resulted in judgment nonetheless, because it exposed the heart issues of people in their lives. So, we look at these different scriptures we have and we relate them in a sense. Jesus both did and didn't come to bring judgment. There is no contradiction to the word. God's word does not contradict. God's word is true. So, yes, he did not come to bring judgment, but in a sense, he did because people's evil hearts were exposed by the light. They had to be exposed by the light. The light showed the issues of life. Much love to you all, and may God bless you all.